Hi, I'm Ryan Meeks, host of this podcast, The Path of Art. Make sure that you like, share, and subscribe, and download the full podcast to your smartphone so that you get the full experience. There's a link in the description below.
I'm a fan first. I would say the number one inspiration for me is other music. I'm still like kind of obsessed about finding new songs that bring
some kind of new inspiration to you.
Yeah, or that energy. You know that feeling where you hear a song and you're like, oh my gosh, where is that? I got to download that now. And then you listen to it 20 times that day. Like I'm still on the hunt for those songs, you know, and those have a tremendous effect. I often turn around and like, I want to do that. I want to come up with my own version of that, or I just want to sit down and I just want to get back into the practice of creating music. It never gets old. You had the advantage of 2 decades, you know, and you do a better version, and you're like, oh, I should have recorded it originally this way, and that's why people do live albums, and that's why they do sometimes even re-recordings. Like there are certain greatest hit albums, you know, where they actually re-record this. You know, James Taylor's most famous versions are not the original versions; they were re-recordings for the greatest hits album.
Right.
In our case, what I've been doing is presenting a bunch of songs that I wrote, and in some cases even recorded but never released. So they're B-sides. But I started running them by the band. Do they use the term B-sides still?
I'm not even sure what that term means.
So B-sides is like
maybe I'm
back in the 60s and 70s when you'd release an album, but you also released a single. Like the hits were singles.
Okay.
Like so Hey Jude was a like let me use another example. What was it? Lady Madonna was a single, became a number one hit, but the B-side, the flip side, was Rain or something. It was a less known non-hit song.
Oh, interesting. I'm thinking EP, but that's like just a single that's released. Like when someone releases an EP, they release like 1 or 2 songs.
EP is like 4 songs. Like LP is a long play.
Okay, gotcha.
That's like 12 songs. EP is shorter, and then a single, which they don't really do anymore, had a, you know, when it was a physical 45 record, you had to put something on the backside, so you put a throwaway song.
Gotcha.
But B-sides are often age really well, or they're just really cool. So I think my favorite example of a B-side is when U2 did the Joshua Tree. They just didn't have room when they did the sequencing of the album. It's like, well, we can't include this. These songs aren't good enough, and they left off a song called "Sweetest Thing." And you know, I heard that, and I was like, this is one of the greatest U2 songs, and didn't even make it on the album. Like that even makes me like the band more. And they ultimately released it on the compilation album. But so I have all these B-sides, and so I've been like songs that I just haven't released. So I started bringing them to these rehearsals, and the band is tightening them up. And so suddenly we have a whole album's worth right now. We haven't recorded. I've been traveling a lot this summer, but we've been thinking in August or in the fall, we will maybe go into a studio and record them live. So, I mean, originally we were thinking we'll just call it sessions, B-sides, the B-side. And there's some good stuff. So I'd have these moments where I'd experience something with the song. You know, I've said in other interviews that like the Beatles, the Beach Boys, God Only Knows, there's certain songs where I would go and I would try to figure them out by ear. And for me, it was like just fascinating trying to capture whatever it was that made me feel moved.
The magic was there.
Yeah, can I recreate that? And that's how it started for me. And it just never left. And then so by the time, so I remember in junior high, I had kind of a explosion of music in my life. And it was a time in my life where I had I just had the time to do it. And I really started writing songs 6th, 7th, 8th grade on the piano. I didn't know how to do lyrics, just melodies. High school comes along, and by that point you have friends who play, so you form bands. I was lucky because I was at a school where they'd actually give us opportunities to play dances and assemblies and what they called stomps, and mostly covers. But in the process of learning covers, like I was the guy with the ear, and so the bass player couldn't figure out the bass line. I'd learn the bass line, teach it to him. Same with the piano. And so I did that with hundreds of songs. And that actually taught me, that was my schooling. It taught me how does the anatomy of a song, like the arrangement of a song. Okay, well, the bass usually, matches the kick drum, and it's like taking a class.
Right.
And so by the time I'm, 17, 18 years old, I start to apply all those rules or all those things I've learned to my own songs. And by that point, we had a lot of performing experience. But what was really sort of calling to me, so in college, I'm become suddenly way more interested in just doing the Neil Young thing, just the solo Neil Young thing.
Right.
Can I go and play at a club or at a coffee shop alone and carry my own? That seemed like, it sounds funny, but that seems like the Mount Everest to me at the time. I was like, I can do it with a band, playing cover songs. Can I write original songs, sit in the corner of this coffee shop, and be of interest to anybody? Like in my case, there was an underlying sense of purpose, even when I was kind of groping in the dark and not knowing if it was going to work out. There's just I think if you have that, and for me, it roots way back. I mean, it goes way back to a young age. And I just think it's the kind of, if you can here's an example. So my second son is away at school. He's at a place called Kenyon College in Ohio. And it's away from home. He didn't know a single person there. He just had this dream to go there. It's this beautiful, it's like going to Hogwarts, this beautiful school. And he, at a kind of a young age, had that dream. And so we dropped him off last year. And as a parent, you're like, what are we doing? And you're worried. And he literally doesn't know anybody there. And we start getting feedback from him like a week later. And when he comes back for Thanksgiving and stuff, well, how was it? And he's just like, I love it. I'm supposed to be there. There are hard things. There are great things. But all through it all, I know why I'm there. And like when I heard that, it was like music to my ears. I thought he can get through anything if he knows why he's there. And he's got friends who are transferring out or not coming back this year. He can't understand that. And so for me, it's like that with music a little bit. Like and it's true of any career really. I just have this underlying sense of purpose in it. Like I don't really have any other choices. This is what I think I'm designed to do. And that has gotten me through a lot.